coming back with a new type of video format. Just pretty much me talking about things that are going on in the world that I feel that are important, but not the kind of typical approach. Kind of just want to speak my mind on certain things. Yeah, so I guess the first topic to go over would be why you shouldn't get too attached to your reality. I feel like, especially the older you get, the more your life will just consume you if you let it. There's a million different wheels turning and things moving in each person's life that will distract you from what's important. And the older you get, the harder it is to break free of these type of routines. So one example would be, and this is going to seem kind of an interesting, route to take for this conversation, but one thing is roadkill. Why, as a society, do we accept that animals on the road, when they're hit by vehicles, we just kind of drive by them? We don't really look twice. Sometimes it's a gruesome outcome and there's flesh and organs of deer and raccoons and different things like that. But when you really slow it down and think about it, that's definitely a societal error. There's no reason why, as human beings who, whatever religion you believe in, we were given this planet. We were put here, for lack of a better phraseology. We were put here. And just like when you move to a new area, you want to be a good neighbor. Right now, we're not being a good neighbor to this planet. And something as small as roadkill really shines a light on that, because thousands upon thousands of drivers will just drive right past a decapitated animal or some type of just horrific scene, and all of us avert our eyes and look away. But that fundamentally never sat well with me. That always rubbed me the wrong way. And not in kind of a minuscule or subtle way. It always genuinely irked me and felt extremely wrong that we do this. I'm guilty of it as well. I will see animals on the road, and obviously there's practical considerations to take. You don't want to catch diseases. You don't want to catch different, ticks or bugs or a million different things. What's the practicality of, stopping in the middle of the road to, do something about the carcass of an already dead animal? But I think in a broader sense, it's wrong as a society that we do this, that nobody wants to slow down, stop. We don't think it's important enough. Actually, we don't even really think we don't dedicate anybody to that job of just trying to preserve the wildlife that we consider rodents. And yeah, we don't really do anything about it as a society. And I think that's a symptom, going back to my main point, of being too attached to your reality, to not really think about what's going on around you. If you really think about it, every time each of us pass by one of those dead animals on the road, we're kind of like giving up a part of our humanity, because we are training ourselves to look away, to not feel anything, to just keep on moving and consider that a part of daily life. And I don't know what the solution is to that. I don't know what it could, look like in the future to not be this way as a society. Maybe it's dedicating certain jobs to more jobs really to wildlife preservation, or just specific jobs to preventing animals from either accessing highways, or if they do once in a while, the inevitable might happen, We need to have better responses to animals just dying and being left there to rot in the road. It's just a symptom of a sick society to do that. No one, I don't feel like I'm, any more in tune with morality or anything. I think a lot of people feel this way. And no one wants to say it because it's a little on its face, a little stupid. Because what are you practically going to do? What are you really suggesting when we say that roadkill shouldn't, we should address that more seriously? Is it one of our biggest issues as a globe? But I think if we don't start paying attention to the little things and let our realities kind of dictate our lives in that sense, we're just going to start losing parts of ourselves more and more as a society, as individuals. And it starts by reclaiming really what's around us and not being too overwhelmed and tuned in to our realities. It's crucial to step back from your daily job, from maybe even other people, anyone who's giving you a different perspective that doesn't align with you morally. It's important to stand up for yourself and stand up for what you believe in, because that's how progress is made in this world. And that's how things get done, is someone decides that they don't want to live this way anymore. They don't want to consider normal what everyone else considers normal, and that they know in their heart is wrong. And yes, mistakes will be made, but we have to start appreciating things outside of our daily routines and outside of just the corporate 9-to-5, what everyone on social media or, the internet in general deems to be important or deems to be practical or deems to be sensible. Life is not sensible. You did not decide to be born into this world. Do I think you should stay in this world? Yes, of course, 100%. I think it's, we don't always decide the things that end up being best for us. Just like we don't always, none of us decided to be born, but we all are. And it's, for the most part, hopefully, I believe this, it's a net positive. It's a net positive for everybody. And I just wanted to come on here and give that example of roadkill as being a symptom of people focusing on the routine of life and what's socially acceptable, and being too wound up in the daily routine, in the daily cycle, to really stop and think about what the consequences of that are and how it expresses in our daily lives. We do that on a human level too, obviously. Just look at Gaza. We, as a society, are trained more and more day by day to just accept violence, accept mutilation. And that's wrong. We can't keep doing that. All of us have to take a stand about what we really feel in our hearts. And I truly believe every life is valuable, human life and animal life, and even bugs. I try not to kill bugs unless they're, actually threatening my safety or safety of a loved one or that sort of thing. And I know there's practical aspects to, rodent control, but I would just not be telling the truth if I didn't say how uncomfortable it makes me that we just slaughter animals and leave them on the side of the road. Even, getting rid of rodents in one's own home. I feel like there's a better way than just exterminating them. Same with bugs. I don't know what that way is, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but I genuinely feel like every life is precious. And And I'm going to try to do better as a person to try and honor that. I just wanted to come on here and say that. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. Take care.